Well, here, let's get some pictures of you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Fran Quigley. I'm one of the folks who is working to organize this event under the leadership of T1 International. So thank you all for coming. And we are going to spend a few minutes here just gathering ourselves, getting signs. Parking, as you can see, is a challenge, so we still have people walking up. At about 1:30, we're going to start the formal speaking. We have 3 different folks who are going to share about their own experiences with access to insulin and struggling for access to insulin. And then we're going to talk about next steps as well, okay? So, my name is Fran Quigley. I'm with People of Faith for Access to Medicine. We got Jesse Wise over here. Jesse has a backpack full of kind of first aid and various supplies, including juice boxes, etc. If you need anything, ask any of us. We're local and ready to help. So thank you all for coming out, and we'll soon start the formal program. Thanks.
Brought their own, yeah.
Sorry for the no shade, but we are bringing this issue out into the sunlight, right?
Where should we go?
We have a lot of people here, folks. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you all for coming. We have an expert chant leader in Jesse Wise, who is ready to lead us in various chants. We're going to do that for a few minutes before we start the formal folks presenting and sharing their stories about access to insulin. And we will share, of course, our requests to Eli Lilly and to the 2 other insulin manufacturers to make insulin available and affordable for all. So,
There you go.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first chant. Everyone has their first chant, and if you want to start with me, we'll start on the count of 3. And let's make it loud, everybody. We want them to hear it over there, okay? Yeah, we have more chants. They're over there if someone wants to pass them around. And if you don't get it the first time, I know you'll get it the 3rd or 4th time. So,
please.
No, are we? Oh, we're not.
we'll get a shot of everyone here. Welcome, everybody. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah!
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, ho, ho, Price County's got to go! Hey, ho, ho, Price County has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Price County has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Price County has got to go. All right, guys. You feeling it? Yeah. Ready to know what we want? Okay. What do we want?
insulin for all!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Insulin for all!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Insulin for all!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Insulin for all!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Insulin for all!
What do we want?
Now!
Okay, sorry. All right. So, excuse me. Do you guys wanna? Are we ready to? What time is it? Where are we on?
Yeah, a little bit of time.
Okay. Let's go down the list.
People walking in.
We'll go down the list. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are we
Fighting for
5, 6, 7, 8.
People's lives are at stake!
1,
What are we fighting for?
5, 6, 7, 8.
People's lives are at stake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What are we fighting for?
5, 6, 7, 8.
People's lives are at stake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What are we fighting for?
5, 6, 7, 8.
People's lives are at stake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What are we fighting for?
5, 6, 7, 8.
People's lives are at stake.
All right. That was good. Did you hear the echo on that one? That was awesome, guys.
We got to be able to hear it over there on the 7th floor or so,
Yeah.
right? So.
Get our lines loud and proud. Okay. All right. Down the line. This one's going to be a little tricky. As you can tell, I struggle with rhythm, so I appreciate you all guiding me. Okay, ready? We'll start out slow. Every generation has an obligation. Has an obligation in broadcasting for medication. Every generation has an obligation to end price gouging for medication. Every generation has an obligation to end price gouging for medication. Every generation has an obligation to end price gouging for medication.
Every
Generation has an obligation
in price gouging for medication.
Okay, well, it's a little tough, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yes, please.
Can I just like move it around?
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay. This one is, I think, Elizabeth, who's in London right now, fighting for the same cause that we're here for, and she wishes so bad that she could be here today, but she's in London. But, you know, we couldn't have done this without her, so we're really thankful. So we're going to do this one extra loud. Yeah, Elizabeth! Okay, so, in London. Yeah, so we're going to do this one loud enough so she can hear us in London, okay? Health is a human right. We've got to keep up the fight, fight, fight. Health is a human right. We've got to keep up the fight, fight, fight. Health is a human right. We've got to keep up the fight, fight, fight. Health is a human right. We've got to keep up the fight, fight, fight. Okay. Should we go back to 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay. Okay, ready? This one's calling him out by name, so we gotta say it extra loud, alright? Eli Lilly, we're in crisis! Our lives are in danger! Lower the prices! Eli Lilly, we're in crisis! Our lives are in danger! Lower the prices! Eli Lilly, we're in crisis! Lower the danger! Lower the prices! Eli Lilly, we're in crisis! Our lives are in danger! Lower the prices! Eli Lilly, we are in crisis! Our lives are in danger! Lower the prices! Eli Lilly, we are in crisis! Our lives are in danger! Lower the prices! All right.
We've got a comment from Balonzi in Kenya who says, "Keep going, team."
All right. Oh yeah, let's do the last one. We're not done yet. And we'll take this up at the end, so save your voices. Okay, ready? Come on, let's join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right! Come on, join the fight! Access to insulin is a human right!
could just point the camera at one thing to see better.
Back there or back here? Which way do you want us?
Where are they going to be speaking? Right there? Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. So we'll turn the camera this way, and then
Yeah, whatever you think.
okay, we'll do this, and then if our speakers want to talk right here, maybe. Okay. All right, we got that fountain in the background. Where'd you get that? Hold your next pockets. Okay. Was it the same? Yeah, that's what you're right? I wasn't sure if it was the same. Does it work?
All right, you want to get started? So where should the speakers?
Right behind. We want that fountain in the background.
We'll do it from here.
Yeah.
So Karen is our first speaker.
I'm gonna put this closer to you so they can hear you.
Do you think we need this or not?
It might be
We
good
should do
for
it,
these
okay.
guys.
So the deal is with this, Mike, that top down kind of thing. So like I had it below me, but the microphone got it.
Got it. And then you just flick it on and then...
Yeah, I'll just keep it on.
And then just hold the little thing down?
You don't have to do anything once it's on.
Oh, okay. I've never used it.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's get started. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Fran Quigley. I'm with an organization called People of Faith for Access to Medicines. But our demonstration today for Insulin for All is organized by T1 International. T1 International, yeah, T1, let's hear for T1 International. T1 International advocates for all people with type 1 diabetes all around the world. We at People of Faith for Access to Medicines are privileged to be a co-sponsor, along with Public Citizen, along with Patients for Affordable Drugs, both national organizations working for lowering the price of essential medicines. Everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, good. So today we are gathered outside of the headquarters of Eli Lilly and Company to raise awareness about the deadly price gouging of people with diabetes. Eli Lilly is one of 3 global manufacturers of insulin. And this company has raised the price of that life-saving medicine over and over and over again. Since the late 1990s, Eli Lilly's Humalog has raised not 100%, not 200%, 1,157% price increase. So you're going to hear today from people with diabetes who have traveled to Indianapolis at the gates of Eli Lilly and Company to take a stand. As you will hear, and many of you here gathered know, and many of you joining us online already do know, for persons with type 2 diabetes, insulin is often necessary. For persons with type 1 diabetes, insulin is as necessary for life as oxygen. So these relentless price increases of double digits, triple digits, quadruple digits, those price increases have caused suffering. Those price increases have caused bankruptcies. And those price increases have even caused death. We have U.S. senators calling the situation price gouging. We have physicians calling the insulin market a racket. And we have thousands of Americans who are turning to GoFundMe pages to pay for their life-essential insulin. So we are here today to ask Eli Lilly and to ask the other 2 manufacturers of insulin, Novo Nordisk and Sanofi, to do just 3 things. Number 1, Eli Lilly, be transparent about how much it costs you to make 1 vial of insulin. There are some reports that it only costs a few dollars to make a vial of insulin, and folks are going to tell you here today that you have to spend hundreds of dollars to purchase that vial. Is this true? Number 2, Eli Lilly and Company, be transparent about your profits on each vial of insulin. Insulin is your top-selling... If insulin is your top-selling product, and you make billions of dollars of profit per year, how much do you profit off of each vial? How much do you profit off of each patient? How much do you profit off of each life? And our third, and our final, and the most important request is very simple. Eli Lilly and Company, lower the price of insulin. Lives depend on this. Today you're going to hear from 3 people directly who are going to be sharing their stories about insulin access, and you're going to be hearing from 1 person indirectly. We're going to hear from Karen Wofford, who came here from Georgia to share with you. We're going to hear from Angela Lautner, who came here from Kentucky to share with you. And you're going to hear from Michael Hoskins, who came here from Michigan. And Karen is going to come back at the end to read a statement from the family of the late Alec Rayshon. Now today is a major, important day in the struggle for insulin for all, but the struggle will continue after today. So at the end of our demonstration out here outside the gates of Lilly, anybody who's interested is invited to gather together to talk about where do we go next? How do we keep the struggle going forward? And Michael Hoskins is going to share with us some details about how we can get together for that. So let's start by welcoming Karen Wofford.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, so I'll start a little bit about myself. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I've been a type 1 diabetic since I was 12. I've been on Humalog insulin for over half of my life. And the pressure is building every year that goes by to pay for that insulin. And sometimes I worry for the next month if I'm going to have the money to cover it. My husband and I have made huge sacrifices in our lifestyle to pay for my insulin and my other diabetic supplies, but primarily insulin. We don't own a home. Kids are not in our future. And again, this strongly relates to how much we have to pay for me to stay alive. I'm also a T1 International advocate, and I'm happy to be there representing them today because Elizabeth Rowley couldn't be here. She's an amazing founder, and she's doing a lot of amazing things that I'm extremely grateful for. So I sometimes do have to skip insulin injections, and I think this is a common thing that a lot of diabetics have to do to make sure they preserve and ration as much insulin as they possibly can. This can cause death. This can cause huge complications down the road, and I know that some of the sacrifices that I've been forced to make are going to cause me complications down the road, and my goal now is to make sure that I don't have any more complications than I have to. Or anybody else. I'm fighting for every other diabetic type 1s and type 2s because insulin is essential. So today I just want everybody to understand that doesn't have diabetes, that we have zero choice. Insulin is life for diabetics, and as Fran mentioned, it's just like oxygen. We are asking for transparency so we can also understand why the prices are so high, because we suspect that it doesn't take even a fraction as much as they're charging to manufacture insulin. When a product's essential to life has increased over 1,000% in 20 years, something is definitely wrong. When U.S. inflation was only at 56%. When people are dying and taking years off of their life because nearly a 100-year-old medication that was meant and created to be accessible to everyone who needs it is becoming too expensive to where people are dying, something is wrong. Pricing insulin at an unaffordable range is denying diabetics of their right to live. We have a right to live. Everyone has a right to live. It's in the Declaration of Independence. It's in the United Nations Human Rights. We are being denied our right to live, or even live a long life. Amen. And it's time for answers. It's time for us to understand. It's time for an explanation. It's time for transparency, and it's time for a change and for insulin prices to come down, so because no diabetic should fear not having insulin. Right. I really appreciate everybody that's here. And I mean, I'm here for every single person that's here, and I appreciate you being here for all of us. So it's a really good community, and I'm proud to be a part of people who are doing something so constructive and meaningful. So thank you very much.
I want to thank you so much for coming and so much for being here, and
much to you to stand up to Eli Lilly and tell them that insulin is too high, it is too expensive, and we are fed up with this. We need answers. So in my story, I've been diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic now for 17 years. When I was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I was an aspiring commercial airline pilot. I had to quit flight school because here in the United States, you're not allowed to be a pilot and take insulin at the same time. I continued to stay on at the airline that I was working for in a customer support position, and then 9/11 happened. When 9/11 happened, airlines didn't need thousands of people like me in support positions when airlines were not flying aircraft. So me and along with a couple of thousand airline employees, we were laid off. And when I was laid off, I was forced with the choice of now, for the first time in my life, having to figure out how does one survive without insurance and still take the insulin that I need to survive every day. So it doesn't matter that you've just been told that you've been laid off. It doesn't matter that you now still have to figure out how you're going to pay your rent and how you're still going to pay the bills like any other person that's been laid off. What I now have to worry about is now that I don't have insurance and now that I can't afford the $500 COBRA payments that now were thrown upon me, what am I going to do? So I applied for every patient assistant program out there at the time. I was denied every single one of them, including Eli Lilly's patient assistance program. And one of the reasons I was denied, for the most part, was that they used my income up until that point to say that I made too much money to now get any sort of assistance for insulin and for something that I need to just stay alive every day, to stay alive, to now look for a new job, to find a new skill, whatever I needed to do, that was just now going to be thrown on me. And so at the time, I had to rely on family. I took out family loans. Family helped me pay for the insulin that I needed initially, and then had to help me pay for the $500 a month COBRA payment that I was forced to then get back onto so that I could at least have some sort of a reduction in the amount of, as far as co-pays and the amount of, for the insulin that I had to take. That was then. That was in 2001. When I went to pick up my insulin the other day, and thankfully I've already met my deductible for this year, but it was $1,400 just to fill 1 month subscription, or prescription rather, for the Humalog insulin pen. So I would say that most people that probably use vials of insulin are using a pen of some sort. And I think that all of us here strongly feel that it doesn't cost $1,400 to make 1 month supply of insulin at all. I think I've been around on this earth long enough to realize that that is more than likely price gouging. And we would like Eli Lilly and the other insulin manufacturers to be transparent about that. We want them to state how much does it cost to make one vial, one insulin pen. How much does that cost? And two, we also want to know how much you're making off of that. What are your profits on this? I'm not opposed to a profit. Nobody is. You do need to make a profit in order to continue a business. We get that. But it's the price gouging that we feel that we are being exposed to, that we are so strongly against. And then finally, the cost of insulin has to absolutely come down because we can't afford it anymore. I couldn't afford it in 2001 when it was way cheaper back then. I can't afford it now. And with the way that the health insurance plans have started to decrease in the amount of coverage that they offer, my current insurance plan doesn't even cover 2 insulins that I have to have and that my body needs in order to survive. That is the kind of thing that has to change. But we're starting with this. We're starting with insulin manufacturers stating how much they're making off of this and making life a little bit better for everybody. They can have a profit and we can live more efficient and safer and healthy lives. I want to thank Type 1 International for assisting in putting this together, and PFAM and Public Citizen and everyone involved with this today. Thank you so much for your efforts and your outreach, and thank you for everyone that is here today. I'm speaking for you, and there's a lot of people here that's trying to make things better. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't even know if I actually need this, but I'll use it for the trumpet. Can everybody hear me? No? How's that? Is that better? I can do it.
All you do is talk right into that little slot.
Well, like where? Like how there you go. Clown nose. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you everybody for coming out today. I know we've got some beautiful warm weather here, but obviously a lot of places in the country are faring so well, and even in the islands, and Northwest is a little bit on fire. So with everything going on, in our hearts and minds, it's great that you guys can come on out here today and spend a little time on this issue. I've got a lot of the same stats, the same stories. I think we all know. We've heard my personal story. I was diagnosed when I was 5 years old back in 1984. So that was about 33, 34 years now. And originally from Metro Detroit, and moved back to Detroit about 2 years ago. But I actually lived on the south side of Indianapolis here for about 10 or 11 years. And from 2006 to 2012, I actually worked right downtown, just a couple blocks away there. And it was interesting, when I first started working downtown, I came around this bend every single day and to get to my office. And I would always drive by the Lilly building, and I always felt a little humble and in awe about these people. They've been supplying my insulin since I was this tall, since I was 5 years old, and I was very humbled by that history of them. And as the years went on, from 2006 to 2012, that feeling started going away a little more often as the years went on. I started getting more angry, a little more upset and frustrated, because I saw what those insulin prices were doing. It was going up, 300% roughly in just the past decade. And Fran said it earlier about over 1,100% since Humalog first came around. And it's not just Lilly; it's the other two companies as well. And we've seen that issue day in and day out. And I'm unfortunately one of the lucky ones where I've had struggles with insulin affordability. A number of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I started going on a high deductible plan, and I had been shielded from that for so long, like a lot of people. And then suddenly, I had to meet a high deductible that I just couldn't afford, and $700 extra per month to afford insulin was just not happening for me. I paid that for 1 month, and then ran out of those resources, and was facing those same choices about, pay the mortgage, or how much are we going to eat compared to the insulin pricing, as well as all my other diabetes lines as well. And luckily, I knew people in the community who could help out. I was able to get supplies from my doctor to help out a little bit, and I didn't face those dire situations that others have. Shane Patrick Boyle is one of those names that a lot of us have heard, and I did not set up a GoFundMe account because I don't honestly believe GoFundMe existed at that point. But I was lucky and I was fortunate to know those resources, and a lot of people don't have that. So pretty much echoing, I've got some great insurance now, and I'm fortunate to have that. I worry every single day about what happens if my job goes away, or my wife's job and her insurance goes away. My insulin, I just checked the other day at Walgreens at the pharmacy, and without insurance, I would have to pay $1,123 a month for the 2 types of insulin I need per month. And that's just to stay fine. That's not even what I actually need. But I could do it if I needed to. And I pay a fraction of that, but it's scary beyond belief. That's the reality that so many people face. I've got a list of people who just, they share their stories. I mean, there's one story I heard about a woman who is, she has a cat with diabetes and uses an older type of insulin, and faced the decision of, well, do I buy insulin for myself or do I buy it for my cat? And decided I can't put my cat through this, so I'm going to scrounge my own insulin to give my cat this older insulin for myself. And we're talking about a cat, and we like to think that's a fringe story, but I bet those are the types of situations we're seeing so much. People, there's a gentleman in Texas who shared a story on Twitter the other day with the Insulin for All hashtag saying, his daughter is type 1 as he is, and it's a choice of, he went back to some of the older insulins that are also very expensive and cost too much, but he made a choice of going on that less reliable insulin so that his daughter could have the insulin she needed. That's the reality. Those are the situations happening every day, and we need the transparency. We need Lilly and the other two companies to do better. We need the pharmacy benefit managers and the insurance companies to do the same thing. There are so many parts to this, and it's so complicated, and that is the truth. It is complicated, but we can't use it as a cop-out. We have to get this in writing from them to say, we need transparency. We need you to do better than you're doing. And more than half of this country is exposed to list prices at some point. That is not an excuse that people are not seeing that price. They are more regularly, more often, and it's killing and hurting people every day. So echoing all the transparency and just doing better. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I think so too. So,
They get a little closer to make sure you're real close.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Alright, today I'm here to speak for Nicole Smith Holtz. She couldn't be here today, but some of you may have heard of Alec Rayshawn Smith. So I'm going to read a statement directly from his mother. My son was diagnosed at the age of 24 with type 1 diabetes. This was a life-changing diagnosis. Everything changed the day of May 8, 2015. Living with type 1 diabetes is a struggle. On top of lifestyle changes come a huge financial burden. Even with insurance, Alex spent approximately $200 a month out of pocket for supplies and insulin. On May 20th, 2017, my son turned 26. This day was my worst nightmare because I knew he would no longer qualify for my insurance. June 1st, 2017, his coverage ended. I researched months in advance of what he could possibly buy through the state, but found out pretty fast because he was single and had a good job, he wouldn't qualify for any subsidy. The plan I found would cost $450 a month with a $7,600 deductible. Obviously, with the cost so high, he decided not to purchase the plan and decided to pay out of pocket the costs at the pharmacy until he could find a different job with benefits. On June 27, 2017, just 27 days after losing my insurance, I received the call no parent ever wants to get. I was told my son was found dead, alone in his apartment. My son died from diabetic ketoacidosis because he was trying to ration his insulin, because his insulin supplies would end up costing approximately $1,300 a month with no insurance. My son was a father, a brother, and the best son anyone could ask for. He was loved by so many, and I am so proud to have been his mom for the short 26 years I had with him. But he should still be here. I should not have buried my son at 26 because he couldn't afford the one thing in life that was created to keep him alive. That was a statement.
Thank you, Karen. Well, as I mentioned earlier, today is really a very important day, and thank you for coming out. As far as we know, this is the first time persons with diabetes have gone out and confronted the companies that are making this life-saving drug that is so essential to all of the lives that we talked about today. So what we would like to do is keep this momentum going and keep building this movement. So Mike is going to convene a conversation at the coffee shop in the lobby of the Alexander Hotel, is that correct? Which is about, about half a mile to the north of where we are now. And there's a coffee shop there. Everyone's welcome to come and have a conversation in person, but also online. T1 International is the organizer of this event. The chief organizer, T1 International, has a terrific Facebook presence, a terrific Twitter presence, a terrific website. So if you haven't already connected with them, I know a lot of you have, please do so, because we are going to keep moving and keep this action going forward. Among other things, this is an important part of this solution is Eli Lilly, but this is one of 3 manufacturers, right? Novo Nordisk and Sanofi need to hear from us the same way Eli Lilly is hearing from us. But I would suggest that we close with the third part of our request. Number 1, remember, we asked Eli Lilly to be transparent about what it costs to make a vial of insulin. Why are you hiding that number? And number 2, what does it cost? Be transparent about what profit you're making. How much of the billions of dollars of profit you're making each year are on the prices that folks have talked about struggling here. But number 3 is the most important one. It's nice of the CEO of Lilly to join us today. Appreciate your car. But number 3 is the most important one. We talked about that. Eli Lilly, let's get very direct. Lower the price of insulin. It's gone up 1,153%, 1,123%. Thank you. We have a correction on the sign from the New England Journal of Medicine, no less. 1,123%. You can lower that price. You can lower that price substantially, and as we've heard, it's going to make a difference in people's lives. So I suggest we close with that chant that Jesse led us with. Eli Lilly, I'm going to say it, then we're going to chant it. Eli Lilly, we are in crisis. We're in crisis. Our lives are in danger. Lower the prices. All right? You ready? Eli Lilly, we're in crisis. Lives in danger. Lower the prices. Eli Lilly, we're in crisis. Lives in danger. Lower the prices. Eli Lilly, we're in crisis. Lives in danger. Lower the prices. Eli Lilly, we're in crisis. Lives in danger. Lower the prices. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Who are these people that are a little bit late?
We will welcome them. We can welcome them from a distance. So again, visit T1 International's website and social media, and if we're going to meet at the Alexander probably in about 45 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes. We'd love to have a conversation about what we're going to do. Thank you all so much for coming.
Oh, we got some people.
I think we need a large group hug, people. Come on. Come on. Group hug. Group hug. We can do it. We're not alone.
Did I get you a little on the light side?
We just wrapped it
Also, they're the best laid plans.
Is anyone interested in a discount code for Canadian?
film.
Yeah, this will be on PFAM's website, and T1 International will be sharing it. If you want to share with your friends.
What website?
It's on Facebook. T1 International has the feed on there.
Great.
Yeah. So it'll be recorded and all on there.
Sign Eli Lilly back from maybe the 3-day insulin company right now. Let me take it on your phone or my phone.
Well, we're gonna.
They had to switch because of
The lady with the blonde hair just got here. She's got a new sign on her back.
How cool.
Sorry.
Let's get a pic of your sign.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to
All right. Wonderful. Now, I heard you have something on your back. Oh, Dr. Bante. We know you're so sad with what's going on.
I'm going to take a picture. Okay. Yep.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wave it.
All right, your sign's finding your mom's sign. There you go.
This was Rally has organized this event from London. I don't know how that's possible. It's how she managed to. Her family came over from. So Nancy is the.
All right, one without the middle finger where I can post my students. Okay.
What we're going to find, I feel like we have so the meeting that came from earlier.
She was gone, so she wants to get that.
I like the middle finger in bed.
When that happens, so we're in solidarity with her, trying to get a union and a good wage. They start from yes, but I'm not sure how good it is, right? You know, especially everybody talks about it, so how big the deductible is. I remember them saying how much better. Oh, like that. You know, because this was all, everybody runs, everyone type 1 runs through the deductible.
So everybody mind just getting in a big group since we got here late. Just hold your signs up so we can get one picture with everybody in it.
That's right, she was made. All the food, most of them.
And all the photos.
Yeah, all the photos and videos I'm taking meeting, I'll be posting it to our Facebook, so you should be able to access it. If anyone has any questions as well.
Medicare Part D covers like a certain point to $2,000.
Can I get your sign? Can I get your sign? Can I see your sign too?
Oh, that's backwards.
I love your sign.
I went over like through all of my
There's more patience than I do.
Did you get
Getting your sign because it's very
Oh.
detailed.
I love that so much. I thought that was the first part.
I said do it anyway, right?
They said show more signs.
No more signs. The signs are amazing. And the fact that everybody's making it.
Not a sign.
This one. Where's yours? You want to get? Are you just get it offline? Sorry.
I'll just do my shirt. No, my mom embroidered me a sweatshirt that says "Got Insulin." Are you? Who are you with?
Oh, I wasn't
It's okay.
I'm just here today more.
Did
you get some pictures?
I'm going to ask everyone to hold this for a while so I can get photos of everyone.
You look great. You're doing great.
The first.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was really nice. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for speaking. Oh yeah, I'm glad. Absolutely. Your sister is an amazing person. She really is. She works.
Like the picture of both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll thank you. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to steal it from you. She just said one more sign.
Hold them high.
Payback for knocking it out of your hand.
And then probably it would be good to have everyone in a circle here with Lily in the background.
Okay. Everybody in a circle over there with Lily in the background. You're in a good place. I hope they don't treat you well because I love the
Come on over, cool sign people. I like the cool sign people and the sign. Bring it, Deb. Put the hood up. We gotta get the visual. Yes, I put the sign up. Grandpa Rudy. Great Grandpa Rudy.
And if he ever like did
I mean, that would be a story, sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The whole protest will be on T1 International and PFAM's page, so feel free to share with your friends. Let them know what you did this Saturday.
Absolutely. Awesome.